Welcome back, everybody, to the 2024 All Things Senior Expo, which is held here in the beautiful city of Scottsdale Center for the Performing Arts. Stephanie Wyatt-Francis, I've got joining us with Peace of Mind for Seniors and Coldwell Banker to break down the senior real estate transaction, what that looks like, and conversations she's probably having downstairs with some of her parents that are wandering around down there. So, hey, Stephanie, thanks for joining us and for breaking down how you do what you do. But why don't you start first with, tell us about your practice, specifically about serving seniors in that niche.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here today. Yes, my name is Stephanie Wyatt-Francis. I've been with Coldwell Banker and a real estate agent here in the Valley for 20 years.
Wow.
I'm excited to have earned the Senior Real Estate Specialist designation. What that means for me, my business, and for my clients is that I'm able to come with a list of resources, services, my mindset. I'm really focused on these next years, and that's a long time.
Yeah.
Next years, when we talk seniors,
Yeah.
I mean, we have anything 50, 55, 60. That means a lot of things to a lot of people.
It really does. But one thing that I think we see in common, regardless how long you're trying to plan that thing out for, is when you're especially selling the family home, there's a lot in there. There's a lot that isn't related to real estate that though you wouldn't think of being related to real estate, that our audience and that you and I, we've talked before, we both have parent projects as well, right? So when you're going through a parent project, you just don't think about. Talk to us about how you pick up on those cues, or what it is that a SRES, a senior real estate specialist, or a certified senior housing professionals, those types of certified folks. How do they do what they do? What is it that you guys do that's different than my cousin Joe, who might be a real estate agent who's awesome, at moving apartments in Manhattan?
So with this particular sale, you're dealing with families. You might be dealing with extended families, estranged families, families that are out of state. Mom and dad were living here. The family, there's maybe one other living relative, two other.
Yeah.
They're across the country. So logistically, what do we do with all of these items? How do we handle this sale? There's personalities. You don't know about backgrounds and histories of relationships between the siblings, between the parents.
Yeah.
You're dealing with those. The sentiment, the stuff. Is this the home that the kids grew up in, or was this mom and dad's second home that they just came out and visited them every year?
Sure.
It's completely different.
Yeah.
When you're talking about family memories and photos on the wall and taking those trips down memory lane. And
so in some cases, I mean, the property could be just something that they need to get through, and family needs to have peace of mind that that person's going to do the best for them as possible, so that asset, that financial asset, can convert into the capital that mom and dad may need to either go to their next forever home, or into the next place that they're going to be there. And in that case, you're looking for that. On other sides, it might be, I'm looking for a real estate agent who can recognize the personal property. Moving around within it or in or out of it is something that's difficult for us as a family. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
So I come with the resources that can help with the personal property. The property might not have been updated.
Yeah.
How do we handle that situation? We might have a care and conditions.
Right.
So what are the best options? What's going to make the most sense? When there are situations where family members can't be as hands-on, you don't want to come in with any preconceived notions as far as what is important. So it's listening to what is important.
Yeah.
Is it a quick sale? Is it, what? We have appreciation here. We've owned the title free and clear. We paid this home off 50 years ago, or we need to get every last penny because mom and dad need this for their care, and we think we need this for X amount of years, so it's really listening to the family's needs and focusing on that, and seeing what resources that I can help out with.
That's great. I think two great questions for families to get moving. The first would be, what does a family member need to have when they approach a real estate agent, when they're going to approach a real estate agent about mom and dad's house? What type of power of attorney, or do they need that power of attorney? Are there certain things that they can get the ball rolling? What should they be prepared with at the first time to talk with you to have the best conversations?
If mom and dad are still living and we have a situation with a memory or family
Impairment.
member that is trying to be involved to be helpful, I'm in that situation right now. I've got 5 aging parents that I'm helping with, and so I've seen this from all of the different, whether the family member is still very much independent and wants to make their own decisions to where they're needing a little bit more help. We always have to keep in mind legally
Right.
where that decision making is coming from. So if there are memory issues and there is a definite power of attorney in place for medical, financial, we do need that up front because we have to be very careful as to where the client
Yeah.
and
Relationship.
the decision making and who legally is signing paperwork.
Yeah.
If this is a situation where mom and dad where they have passed and now it's in a trust, the first few pages that legally we don't need all the pages of the trust, but just the first few pages of the trust showing who the trustees are and who has the power. Can get a little tricky when there's lots of siblings or benefactors on that estate.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the more documentation you have, the better. We just want to make sure that the right people, the decision makers, the people who are able to sign are the ones that are involved with that.
Well, and again, that comes back to, like you said, I mean, that's having the documents in a row. They just might be difficult and have to be applied very carefully and professionally. Another reason why to use a qualified real estate agent and somebody who can walk a family through that process here in the state of Arizona, right?
That's correct. And there are situations too where people do pass on with just a will.
Yeah.
Or actually no documentation or records. And so I can help walk through that process too of going through probate. It's not scary. It's just a different process as if you were to die with a clear-cut will, estate,
Huh. I like
trust.
that approach. I like that approach. I think that is a great thing to take away and to think about from that. A lot of people will want to try to run with the guilt and the fear of stuff. I really appreciate that you take it. It doesn't have to be scary. It's just a different process and a good one to get a professional. My second question would be, when is the right time for a family to start talking about with a real estate agent? When is, I'll leave it at that. When's the best time to start that conversation with a real estate agent?
At what stage?
Okay.
There are so many stages. There is if you are trying to sit down, and it depends on the openness of the family members you're talking to. Again, I'm working through this personally. I've got some family members that are very guarded with their financial and their personal information right now. So you have to walk through that with kid gloves. You don't want to come in like a bull in a China shop, just charging your way through and thinking, what's best for them.
Right.
But it could just start with getting a home value in mind. And that way, when they're sitting down with their financial advisor, having that talk at the beginning of the year, they've got some numbers that they can work with, right? Because your financial advisor, they are the ones that are helping you with your life plan. Yeah. They're helping plan out the next 5, the next 10. And, they use charts and they use averages, and we look at somebody's health condition and how much money they might need. And so that could be really helpful. So you could talk to a real estate professional, right, and just get a home value so that when you're sitting with your financial advisor, you know how much money you'd be looking at and what it isn't an option to go into assisted living. Should we be bringing somebody in the home for services right now? How much money do we have right now? Could we do a downsize and do a reverse mortgage? I mean, that is a whole nother topic. But again, a resource for money, you could start with a real estate agent and find out where the money is for that. It just to come up with a plan. I think the sooner you can have a plan or have those conversations so that you know what everybody's wishes are, the better you are. You don't want to be behind the 8 ball. Nothing is fun in an emergency situation when you're scrambling for resources. Yeah. So to have those conversations early on and see what everybody's wishes are and what their thoughts were, I don't think it's too early to start that.
Well, and around facts is a great thing to do. Real facts, real numbers. When things get emotional, bring it back down to a comp analysis or a CMA that's done by a professional is probably a great opportunity for them to bring it down. If it gets high to bring bring it down to something that's just a number. It's just a fact. It doesn't
Right.
have an opinion against that. So brilliant. Can you share with our audience where they can find more information for you and your practice and socials if you guys are on socials?
I am on social. My website is peace, Peace, peace of mind for seniors.net. That'll take you to my list of services. So you can give me a shout out, contact me. If you do just want a value of a home right now, or if you're looking for resources to maybe help secure that bathroom or the kitchen, just getting ideas, running something past a professional who has other professionals with seniors in mind, you can run that by me. I'm also on Instagram and on Facebook. That would be under eastvalleyluxury.com. East Valley Luxury is my Instagram handle. East Valley Luxury is my Facebook handle as well.
Brilliant. Really appreciate it. Stephanie, thank you again so much for joining us. And you guys can find more information on her practice with Peace of Mind for Seniors in real estate, an SRES realtor here. And I think that's probably where we're going to move back down. We're going to come back out to break. Join us. Continue to stay tuned off of this after these breaks here. We'll be back here for the City of Scottsdale's 2024 All Things Senior Expo happening right here in downtown. Not too late. Keep coming down. They're going to be down here till about 2 o'clock today at the city's Center for Performing Arts. It's a beautiful facility. Please come down and join us. Check in with Stephanie. Have a conversation with her. And until we see you again, behold and be held. Well, that's it for the team this week, and thanks for joining us. If you've enjoyed the content, remember to subscribe and to share this episode on the app that you're using right now. Your reviews and your comments, they really help us expand our reach as well as our perspective. So if you have time, also drop us a note. Let us know how we're doing. For tips and tools to clarify your parent project, simplify communication with your stakeholders, and verify the professionals that you choose, you can find us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Thanks again for trusting us. Until our next episode, behold and be held.
Thank you for listening to this Parent Projects podcast production. To access our show notes, resources, or forums, join us on your favorite social media platform or go to parentprojects.com. This show is for informational and educational purposes only. Before making any decisions, consult a professional credentialed in your local area. This show is copyrighted by Family Media and Technology Group Incorporated and Parent Projects LLC. Written permissions must be granted before syndication or rebroadcast.